The termination meeting lasted less than 5 minutes. The HR director slid a piece of paper across the desk, a transcript of a conversation Mark had with a coworker 3 months ago. Mark was confused. He remembered typing those words, sure, but he also remembered hitting delete 10 seconds later. He thought that message was gone forever. But to understand how a deleted message from the past can destroy your career in the present, we need to peel back the digital curtain of the platform you probably use every single day. Stop believing the lie that the trash can icon actually means gone. You are making a critical mistake about workplace privacy, and here is why it matters. You sit at your desk, you vent to a colleague, you regret it, and you delete it. You think you're safe. But what if I told you that the delete button on your screen is often just a hide button for you, while the message remains perfectly visible to someone else? By the end of this video, you will know exactly what your boss can see, what the law allows them to recover, and the 3 specific settings you need to check right now to know if you are being watched. So, let's start with the architecture of the platform itself. When you use a personal messaging app like Signal or WhatsApp, end-to-end encryption and privacy are the selling points. But Slack is different. Slack is a business tool. And in the world of business tools, the customer is not you, the employee. The customer is your employer. This fundamental difference changes how data is handled. When you type a message into that text box, it is instantaneously sent to Slack's servers. When you edit or delete that message, a request is sent to the server to update what is displayed on the screen. However, updating the display is not the same as scrubbing the database. In the world of data management, there is a concept known as a soft delete. This means the data is flagged as inactive, so it doesn't show up in the user interface, but it remains sitting in the database, fully intact, with a timestamp of when it was created and when it was marked for deletion. The burning question is, does your boss have the key to unlock that soft deleted data? The answer is complex, and it depends entirely on how much money your company is paying Slack. This is where things get interesting. Slack operates on a tiered system: Free, Pro, Business Plus, and Enterprise Grid. If you are working for a small startup using the free version of Slack, you can actually breathe a little easier. On the free and standard Pro plans, the standard export feature available to admins usually only includes messages from public channels. Private channels and direct messages are generally excluded from these standard exports. In this specific scenario, if you delete a DM on a lower tier plan, it is genuinely difficult for your boss to retrieve it without a legal court order. But don't get too comfortable, because the game changes completely when you move up the corporate ladder. If your company uses the Enterprise Grid plan, which most large corporations do, administrators have access to a tool called Corporate Export, or the Discovery API. This is the nuclear option of workplace surveillance. With this level of access, an organization can set retention policies that automatically archive every single keystroke. Even if you delete a message 1 second after sending it, the system has already captured the original text, stored it in a compliance archive, and indexed it for search. Here is the secret that IT departments don't usually advertise in the employee handbook. On these enterprise plans, admins don't need to log into your account to read your messages. They don't need your password. They simply utilize a dashboard that allows them to download a JSON file containing the entire history of the workspace. This file looks like a massive spreadsheet to a computer program. It contains the user ID, the timestamp, the channel, the message content, and, crucially, a history of edits. That's right. If you type, "I hate this project," send it, and then edit it to say, "I love this project." The corporate export tool can show both versions, the original sentiment and the cover-up. But wait, the most shocking part is still ahead. You might think you are safe because you checked your company's plan and it's not enterprise grid. But there is a loophole that overrides everything. And it involves a group of people you definitely don't want reading your diary: lawyers. Let's talk about the legal hold. This is a mechanism that exists outside the standard features of the app. Regardless of what plan your company is on, if your organization is sued, or if there is an internal investigation regarding harassment, fraud, or IP theft, the company can request a legal hold on the data. When this happens, Slack, the company itself, can step in. If a valid legal subpoena is issued, Slack is required by law to turn over data. In the process of e-discovery, which is the legal procedure for gathering electronic evidence, forensic experts can often recover data that users thought was long gone. It is fascinating how many people believe that the edit function is a time machine. It isn't. It is an audit trail. In a courtroom or a serious HR investigation, that audit trail paints a picture of intent. Deleting a message right after sending it doesn't look like an accident. To an investigator, it looks like a realization of guilt. It looks like you said something you knew you shouldn't have, and you tried to hide the evidence. Ironically, the act of deleting the message can sometimes be more damning than the message itself. Now, let's step away from the high-tech backend for a moment and look at the low-tech vulnerability that catches almost everyone: the human screenshot. You can have the most secure, encrypted, self-destructing messaging system in the world, but it cannot stop the person sitting across from you, digitally speaking, from hitting print screen. You have to realize that trust is your biggest vulnerability. You send a risky joke to a colleague you think is your friend, they laugh. 2 months later, that colleague is up for a promotion that you are also competing for. Or perhaps they get worried that their own job is on the line and they want to prove loyalty to management. That screenshot of your deleted message, which they saved to their desktop months ago, is now an attachment in an email to human resources. No software setting, no retention policy, and no encryption key can protect you from a screenshot taken by a recipient. So how do you know if you are currently being monitored? Is there a way to tell? Slack actually provides a transparency feature, but almost nobody knows where to look for it. You can actually check if your workspace holds the keys to your private conversations. In your Slack workspace, click on the name of your workspace in the top left. Go to Settings and Administration and look for Workspace Settings. From there, look for a section discussing exports. If you see a message that says admins can export messages from public channels, you are in the yellow zone. Public is public. But if you see language that says admins can export all data or references a discovery API, you are in the red zone. That means everything. Private DMs, private channels, edits, and deletions is liable to be archived. If you cannot even access this menu, or if your profile says you are on an enterprise plan, you should operate under the assumption that every single word is being recorded forever. We also need to consider the third-party integrations. Slack is rarely used in isolation. It connects to Trello, Asana, Google Drive, and Jira. Often, the preview text of a message is sent to these other services via webhooks. If you post a link or a comment that triggers a notification in another app, Deleting the message in Slack does not delete the notification email that was sent to your boss's inbox or the log entry in the project management tool. The data bleeds out into the ecosystem. The reality of the modern workplace is that privacy on company equipment is a myth. The device belongs to them. The network belongs to them. The software license belongs to them. Therefore, the data belongs to them. Courts have repeatedly upheld the right of employers to monitor communications on their own platforms to protect their business interests. So, here is the golden rule, the only strategy that actually works 100% of the time. It's not a hack, and it's not a setting change. It is called the Billboard test. If you wouldn't want your message plastered on a billboard outside your office building with your face next to it, do not type it into Slack. Do not type it into Teams. Do not type it into your work email. If you need to vent about your boss, complain about a client, or share a sensitive opinion, use your personal phone on your personal data plan, on a personal app that has nothing to do with your corporate identity. It seems paranoid until it happens to you. We get comfortable. We treat these chat apps like our living rooms because we spend 8 hours a day in them. But they are not living rooms. They are glass conference rooms with microphones in the ceiling. The delete button is just a curtain that you pull over your own eyes, not the eyes of the administrator. This brings up a massive debate about the balance between corporate security and personal privacy. Where do we draw the line? I want to hear from you. Do you think companies should have the right to read deleted private messages between employees if it protects the company? Or do you think this crosses a moral line into surveillance? Let me know your stance in the comments below.